phone hooked up to this? Yeah. Sweet. Well, hopefully everybody can hear me in there. Let me know if you can or can't, I guess. I see we got Jesse and Lisa in here with Lazy Days Ahead. Good morning. Got Shane in here over at Great Farmer Freelance. I don't know, Shane, did you go live this morning? Yeah. Did you? Jessica says yes. So, okay. Well, I'm sorry I missed it. And we got Annette in here at Apple Tree Urban Homestead over there in Australia. Good morning. Canada is still cold, Shane says. It ain't cold here, Shane. It's supposed to be up in I think upper 80s, low 90s today. It's been getting pretty warm and muggy and everything. So I was talking to Jesse last night on the phone. They sent us a package in the mail, or a package that we won on their live, and it ended up being a lot more than just the package that we won. But anyways, I was talking to them, telling them how I was on your live the other day. I jumped in there to say hi and pretty much got about a 10-minute plug yesterday. So that was kind of nice. But Native Wild Man, good morning, good morning. I don't think I've seen you in our lives yet, but good morning and welcome. If you have a name and just a general where you're from, that'd be great. I like to put a name with it. Hey, Nick, good morning. See, everybody jumps on when Jessica gets on here. It's because they want to see Jessica.
Get this going so I can comment back.
You can comment right here. All you gotta do is type right there. It's the same thing. And then you don't have to be on your phone too. Just comment right there.
Okay.
Got our coffee this morning, and Jessica was a little late getting up here because she had to go milk the goats this morning. She was a little bit later getting in here.
This 9 o'clock thing runs me late every morning, every time, every Wednesday. Because I don't get up and get around for the day until after I've taken the kids to school. I like that 6:15 is early enough for me. I don't know that I want to get up earlier than that. Great
definitely.
Farmer Freelance says, love your property. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. Appreciate that. Got my phone.
Hey, Jeremy.
Jessica's cousin's on here, I think, watching from work. But
Probably shouldn't have announced
he's got a jury trial or something going on.
His name's
too,
George.
So.
We were just talking about George.
So he won't be commenting most likely, but he's probably watching it as he's working. So
we probably just lost him his job.
We appreciate that. They don't know who he is. So
yeah, nobody knows George. Well,
good job getting everything done, Jess, Nick says. Thanks, Nick. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I think that will have to just be the running joke. Everybody knows for sure I don't do everything. Yeah, it's George.
That's funny.
I don't really do everything. Just almost everything.
Yeah. So what's been going on with everybody else? I know it's been busy around here. Trying to get, Jessica's going to throw the link up. We're just going to kind of have an open live this morning, garden chat. We've obviously been busy getting things done around here with the busy lifestyle that we have. Boys and sports and work and chores and just homestead stuff every day. So
well, we officially got the garden planted. So
yes,
that was a chore. And of course it was like a 90-degree day. So where's Waldo? I mean, George. We don't know where George is. Nobody knows. We'll not say. George is working at an undisclosed location.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to jump on the link, feel free to click on it, jump up. We'll pull you up on the panel. Like I said, we're just going to kind of have an open chat this morning. We jumped on, Chuck did kind of the same thing the other day on his. I think we ended up with 6 or some odd people on his panel at one time. So
I think that's my favorite kind of live though, because it's interesting to document our journey and video ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's like you're just talking to yourself in this little bitty camera. Like, that's it. When we do a live stream, it's nice to have the comments going and then have people come up. It's like one big, huge group FaceTime. And
Hey, Spring Meadow Farm and Garden. What was your name again? I can't remember.
List.
Jessica's got the list and it's not over here. I'm terrible with names, but I'm starting to remember several of them. It's hard for me to remember them all.
We're getting there.
She's got a list coming, so I'll know your name.
I don't have everybody on here. I'm getting it as
I'm pretty sure they're on there though.
Oh, look, we have somebody lazy. Oh,
it's Jesse.
Lisa.
It's always Jesse wanting to say hi.
I like Jesse and Lisa. I don't think I have Spring Meadow, but
Nick said he'll be up in a minute or two. Chuck's live was very funny. Yeah, Ned, it was fun. I guess we're gonna add Jesse, but it's not showing Jesse again for some reason. Why are we back to this?
It doesn't even show him down there. So kick him out, make him jump back in.
See you later, Jesse.
My allergies are
getting a little
frustrating. In. But it's not even. That's weird.
Wonder why.
Okay, let's try again. So I've got it on my phone Wi-Fi. Okay. Oops.
Zany May. Good morning, Amanda, over at Bare Bones Living. I'm sure you've got your hands full this morning.
I'm jealous. Mine are empty.
No baby here.
Mine are at school.
Why is Jesse not coming up?
I don't know.
What's wrong with our computer?
I don't know, because our internet is fantastic. Let me add and see. I hate it when this happens because then it's on my phone, but let me add him and just see if everyone else.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me, but you can't see me?
Well, yeah. I'm going to see. Yeah, everyone else can see.
Everybody else can see.
All right. Well, we'll just go with this. All right.
I say it shows it on the phone, but so we'll just have the phone open so we can see you too.
There's a problem though. There's an avatar up here that doesn't look like my logo.
What?
He's got a deal on his screen, but it's our logo.
Yeah.
Right there. It doesn't look like my logo. It looks like somebody else's.
That's a good looking rooster you got there.
You can
How about this? I found this at a truck stop. It cost me $99.99 to get this hat right here at the truck stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive, but they're well worth it, Jesse.
It was opposite of the Love's truck stop.
They're expensive, but they're really good hats.
They are. They're made
for $99.99.
It's firm. It stays. It keeps its shape. It basically doesn't work. So I know it came from you, Glenn.
And we got Nick. I'm gonna pull Nick in here too and say good morning.
That's a good man right there.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
What's up, Nick?
Okay, I did this the other day where it got me not center. Oh, that's better. Yeah. It'll rearrange in a second.
There we
go.
How's Nick? How's Arizona this morning?
Oh, we're cold this morning. We went down to 40 degrees, so hopefully we don't go down to freezing tonight or tomorrow morning. So we got a lot of plants out there.
Nick, what elevation are you at?
We're at about 5,400 feet.
No wonder. I'm over here almost close to sea level, and we're in the 90s.
Hey,
yeah.
Good morning.
I'll take a 40-degree morning over a 90-degree afternoon. That's for sure.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, I would take that too. The 90s. These last few days have been pretty brutal on me. I'm not used to this 90s stuff yet.
Yeah, it's not even June yet, right? 90 degrees. Yeah. That's hot.
Yeah, it's been 90 the last couple of days here, and I don't want to sweat yet. I'd be all right if it was like 75 all summer long.
Hey, don't complain though, because it could be possible to freeze. So, I mean, listen to what Nick's having to worry about. We have all of our plants outside, our garden's completely planted, and then all of the extras that we're selling we actually had to take out of the greenhouse because
It's too
it was
hot.
getting too hot in there. Even with the windows open and the door open and all of that, they were getting a little sad.
Well, I'll take the 90-degree heat any day over hurricanes, floods,
Yeah.
tornadoes. I'll take the 90-degree, and we've been running around 57 to 60% humidity, which makes it feel like an oven.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, so I'll take that any day over hurricane, though.
But you get tornadoes in Texas, right?
Yeah, well, we get them every now and then, but they're not as much as Central Texas on up, Dallas and all those places. But down here, we're on the coast, so we're high chance of getting hit by some squall or hurricane, and they're always hitting Louisiana. Louisiana gets they get hit all the time, so we get
They do.
residue from that. But
My sister lives down in Louisiana. Yeah, they get all kinds of storms.
yep.
So Nick, I didn't really get to hear a whole lot about how your garden was doing yesterday because there was so many people in the chat. It was kind of hard. It was muffling. Somebody tried to talk, but the delay was kind of back and forth on it. So, how's your garden doing down there?
Yeah, it's going great. Well, I mean, we'll see tonight, right? If it continues to go great, but yeah, our potatoes are taking off like crazy right now. We got purple potatoes and I don't know, Yukon gold potatoes or something. I don't know. Danielle knows all of it. It's so funny if you watch my garden tour videos. I point at stuff and I go, I think this is chard. No, that's mustard greens. I think this is beets. No, that's the chard you're looking for. That's not the beets. And so it's really funny because we were labeling stuff a bunch last year and I could kind of figure it out. But Danielle has planted so much. I don't know if you guys had heard us talking about us looking for a new property with my parents, but we've been on the hunt for a new property and even made an offer on a place, but nothing's really come to fruition yet. The owners of the property that we made the offer on, they weren't willing to meet with us in the middle for where their property should actually be valued, in our opinion. So yeah, that one
don't overpay.
No, not right now. And the prices of houses are starting to go down here. So yeah, we don't want to overpay
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So we didn't plant the garden is the long and the short of that. And we had all these plants in pots and Danielle was just kind of stewing inside, like I really want to put these plants in the garden and she didn't. And now she's just planted like crazy. So we have so many plants out there. Everything's growing really well because we've had some warm weather. And this weekend it's supposed to be really warm, but tomorrow morning it's supposed to be pretty cold. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we have all types of tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of stuff still in pots. We've put a few peppers in the ground, but not much. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of that time of year where a lot of kind of 50-50 people here either plant their garden early or they plant it really late. Like Chris and Larry, she says that after living here for 20 years and planting gardens every year, she doesn't plant anything that's not going to resist the frost until after June 1st. So
wow,
yeah, it's a
short growing season then.
We do, which is why it makes it difficult, especially if we don't know if we're going to stay here or not. But yeah, I appreciate you asking. I'll shoot another video for May and do another garden tour, but it's gonna be like night and day showing April versus May. So
I bet. You did a video back in I forget what, like your first garden update video that you did, and it was you were having, I guess, had a frost at that time, and you had some of your fruit trees and stuff that kind of got hit by a little bit. Did they all survive through all that, or?
Yeah, the fruit trees survived, but the fruit did not. So all of our apricots just turned into like black raisins pretty much and fell off. So
That's terrible. Ours did that last year. We have 5 big fruitful trees, and not one of them produced a fruit last year. But we're worried about them this year too, because we actually had a frost when they were all flowered. We had a couple of frosts, but we went out there the other day, and they're all just full of nectarines, and the apple trees are completely full, and one of the plum trees is the only one that really hasn't put on any fruit yet was our big plum tree. But Lord willing, it will too.
So has it flowered already?
Yeah, they all flowered.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably should have flowered,
Yeah,
but you just don't see any fruit yet on that one.
Yeah, it was the first one to flower out of all of them was our big plum tree.
Nice. Yeah, our apple trees, they were later than the stone fruit. So yeah, I think we have some plums and some nectarines that may have set, but the apples, they waited until after that frost. So we should have a few apples anyway.
Okay. Well, that's good. At least some of them might survive, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. You know how it is. It's funny being more of a farmer every year. Our prayer life has changed quite a bit. You know, it's like we're praying for the weather a lot more than we used to, and
Absolutely.
It's kind of a good thing. You know, talking to God more often is good, no matter what it is. And sometimes it feels silly because it's a small thing. You know, it seems like it's a small thing, but you know, I know we're supposed to bring everything to him. So there you go.
Yeah, we find ourselves praying over our plants, our garden, our trees all the time. So yeah. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Nick, you don't have to pray. You just walk around. Every time you're outside, you walk around, say 4 words. Thy will be done. Thy will be done.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to hear. Thy will be done.
Right.
Well, his will is always good, you know. Last night, I'm gonna have to head out not too long because I gotta get ready for this pedal ministry ride that I lead this morning. But I was leading one last night, and we were talking about faith and that God is the author and perfecter of our faith, out of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, and it's pretty interesting thinking about the author of our faith. That was kind of profound talking about that, but talking about the perfecter of our faith. A lot of times we don't realize that that's where we need to grow the most is in our faith and trusting him, right? And learning to obey him. But a lot of times these things like apricots, you know, falling off the tree, and you get so upset and disappointed about it. But you might be growing your faith, and that's better fruit than you could eat off of a tree. So
right.
We got to remember that sometimes. So you're right, Jesse. Absolutely.
So question on your garden, beautiful garden. I loved your little tour the other day, especially when you were saying, this is, I think, well, no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this is that, but no, maybe it's not. I think Danielle put, you know, I loved it. It's perfect. But no,
well, you'll get more of that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because,
does it get warm enough there to grow watermelon?
Oh yeah. We can grow quite a bit of watermelon and squash because they don't take a super long time. And
right.
Boy, can we grow pumpkins! Let me tell you, we grow a lot of pumpkins here.
I like pumpkins this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, we didn't even try to grow a bunch of our pumpkins. I think the scrub jay that we had was pulling seeds out of our compost bin and would put them underneath a bunch of rocks in our yard because we had a pumpkin plant coming out of almost every rock that was bigger than my hand, and I couldn't believe it. But they grew just fine. I guess they do well without all that much irrigation. I couldn't believe it. Like you said in your comment on our video, Jesse, for Arizona, you know, it's very dry here. We've got irrigation in the garden, but not outside. But those pumpkins just kept growing and growing, and we figured, hey, we'll just let them go. We won't really water them, and they produce tons of pumpkins for us. So, yeah, go for it, Jess. If you plant those pumpkin seeds, they kind of do their own thing.
Hey, do you guys have an opportunity? Do you have a what are those called, community gardens, where you can take fruit to these like a swap meet for vegetables?
Well, we've got a few of those around town. Not in the closest town to us, really, but in another 2 towns right next to us, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can offload a lot of them pumpkins there, you know.
I'd love to trade pumpkins for like zucchinis or something. Yeah, because we still have pumpkins that, you know, they didn't rot all year long, and they're finally starting to. So,
Wow.
We had some volunteer pumpkin that grew last year. I guess the people that had lived here before would always clean out their pumpkins in this one area. And so they grew these big, huge vines, and I was all excited, but all of the flowers, I can't remember, were either male or female. So since it was from those pumpkin seeds, they didn't do anything but create a big, long vine with a bunch
flowers.
of flowers, which I love flowers, but I really was hoping to have pumpkins, and it didn't. So this year I will intentionally plant pumpkins. What about like butternut squash? Is that a fall?
Hey, Stephen
I just
and
ordered
Casey,
a bunch of frozen
over
butternut squash, but
Mr. Boots and Bounty. So Casey is Stephen's wife, if you didn't know.
yeah, that did help with the pumpkins, Chris. Yeah, we do butternut squash in the fall. Yeah, because it can survive through the cold times. So because it's a hard squash. So yeah, but the squash flowers, I was gonna say, some people harvest just the squash flowers and bring them to the farmer's market, and some people love to use those squash flowers for something. I don't know what they use them for.
I've seen a lot of recipes where people are like frying the flowers.
Battering them and frying them like a morel mushroom.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I don't know about mushrooms. I don't know about squash flowers. So you all have to teach me about that.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be one of my, I started a series. I've only put one video up so far, but I'm really enjoying part of the homestead life is like using kind of everything to its maximum ability. So like my first video on that, I think it was all the uses or something, was the pine needles. But maybe that can be one of mine is with the flowers, which you can do with the whole plant. I don't know.
Oh, I gotta watch that pine needle video. What can you do with pine needles?
Well, we have like 4, what are those trees? They're pine
They're just
trees.
big pine trees. They look like a mayor's Christmas tree.
They're beautiful. I think they came from Colorado, but they're huge and they drop all these pine needles. And so we had ordered all these old books that said you can use them for your strawberries. So I went out and raked them all up, put them in my strawberry bed. Well, then I ended up finding out you can use pine needles with paraffin wax as a fire starter. It said that you could use it in your grilling. It gives the meat an extra flavor, but somebody did come back and say that they had tried that and that didn't work. But we ended up using it in a whole cover area for our, what is it, like our raised bed area. We also have the raspberries, but supposedly as they decompose, which is a very slow process, they're a lighter weight material, obviously, so they slowly decompose, supposed to add acid or more of acidic environment to the soil, but it's a slow thing if it does that. But it's just a good ground cover for mulching in things, was one of the reasons that we used it. But
and it was free. We had it. So
yeah, but you can also use it in vinegar and have like a pine sol, basically. It's got antibiotic, antimicrobial, antifungal type properties or something. Not antibiotic, I think microbial, antifungal.
I wonder if it'll work to keep the cats away from the dirt, because we have a stray cat out here loves to dig in our garden.
Cats like anything
bag.
you can dig in. That's the trouble.
I found the only thing that kind of keeps them away, Jesse, is a 22.
Yeah, that or pellet.
Now all the cat lovers are just gonna leave, and
I haven't shot any.
Well, we have a neighbor cat that comes over who is sweet, by the way, but he has decided to become a dad at our homestead. And Glenn's
a deadbeat at that.
Because he stopped showing up when the babies arrived. So Glenn keeps saying, I'm gonna shoot him in the bus. Don't you dare. We just get our cats fixed and then you don't have to worry about it. But we've enjoyed having the kittens.
But every time we see him around now, though, I watch for him to come around, and I'll turn my lab out and sick him on him. He'll run him across the countryside, and then he'll come back. He don't ever catch him. He's too slow, but it's fun to watch him try.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Get an outdoor dog. I have an indoor dog. Get an outdoor dog and he'll take care of them cats.
Yeah, we've got cats in our front yard from our neighbors. They have 4 cats, and they're always in our front yard trying to eat our lizards that we've got out there. But they don't dare go in our backyard because our 2 dogs would just tear them up. So
ours had a lizard tail in her mouth the other day. Glenn saw something moving in her mouth and thought it was maybe a small mouse or something. It was a lizard tail.
just the tail.
She didn't quite get the lizard. The tail came off though.
She's getting close anyway, huh?
She was very close. So, but we still got a lizard somewheres out there.
Well, I was gonna say, have you ever had pine needle tea?
That was
I
one of
have
the
not.
things I think I talked about, that you can do a tea with it. No, I haven't yet. We used all those darn pine needles in the raised bed area. How do you make needle tea?
Yeah. Well, you need the freshest needles. You don't want to be using the stuff that's on the ground because it's not going to taste very good. But if you get the fresh needles when they come out, and I think they come out right before fall, I might be wrong, but here we have a lot of ponderosa pines, and if you just get just a few of the bunches of pine needles and you put them in hot water and let them steep for a minute or two, it just has a real light kind of pine taste to it.
I like that.
And I have to say, it's pretty good. I was very skeptical, but it's not bad.
The green ones, the fresh ones, when they first are coming out in the fall. So.
Okay.
Or just get you some of that pine and add a lot of sugar and same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what pine salt tastes like, so I can't tell you. But yeah, I do know that it is pretty good. My son and I, when we're out camping, we'll do that, and it's halfway decent. It's not a very strong taste.
Supposedly pine needles have a lot of nutrition in them, so I don't know. I'm just enjoying learning about out of the box things that you can use things right in your backyard for. I really like to clean with vinegar because it's a more natural disinfectant, and Glenn hates the smell of it. So I've been like infusing our vinegar with lemon and lime and orange peels, and like I said, you can do pine needles too. So I'm going to do that at some point.
Hey, good morning, Jerusha over at Gossmania and Jennifer.
Hey, Jerusha. So
Good morning.
I must say, the more I get to know Glenn, the more I realize how much I have in common with him. And that vinegar smell, it was funny. The other day, Danielle was cleaning out our washer, our clothes washer. And she was using vinegar, right? She ran a load of just vinegar in there to clean it out, right? It's a good idea. But I was in the garage, and we have our washer and dryer right by our back door of our garage where we walk in there. And I walked by there, and I said, oh, man, Scout must have came in here when the door was open, because the door was still open, and Danielle was walking in and out, putting plants out or something. And I walked past the washer, and I said, oh, Scout must have been in here and lifted his leg up on the washer or something. It smells horrible right there. She said, it smells like dog pee in there. I said, not really. It smells like something else. I don't know. It doesn't smell good, though. And she says, does it smell like vinegar? I said, that's what it is. It's vinegar. I hate it.
See, I'll clean out our coffee pot with vinegar every so often. I'll just run vinegar through it. Yep. And he gets so fussy. But I'm like, you know what? I think you should just be grateful that I'm cleaning, because I'm decent at keeping the house picked up. I'm terrible about cleaning. So just know that the stinky smell will go away, and I cleaned something.
Yeah, you got a lot in common with Danielle too. They're just but yeah, we need to do that to our coffee pot. I had to hit the coffee pot button 3 times this morning to get it to go through. Uh-oh. We've got hard water here, so it's time to do the vinegar thing. But I'll tell you what, I'll be the one to rinse that thing out as many times as I need to. Make sure it doesn't taste like vinegar at all next time I grab a cup of coffee.
And I run it like through with vinegar, and then I run 3 or 4 more pots through of just hot water to make sure it's gone. But actually, I make our own laundry detergent, and then I also dump a little bit of vinegar in the laundry too. And it's a good, I don't know, it keeps the stink away when you have 3 boys, and especially with my milking rags, they stay wet for a few days as they're waiting to be washed. So it just kind of keeps things smelling fresh.
Good morning, Maya. How are you this morning? Yeah, Chuck, it kind of seems to be a love-hate relationship. You either love it or you hate it. I don't like the smell of vinegar at all.
I don't necessarily like the smell. I just am not a fan of using harsh chemicals unless absolutely necessary in our home. So I like that it's a safe option. I clean the chicken coops with it. I clean my goat milk, my goat stanchion with it. I just use everything. You can also use lavender essential oil too. Yeah, I have like a whole beautiful shelf that Glenn made me loaded with essential oils. We do Young Living, so it's just there's a lot up there.
Hey,
Use
Danny
that.
Days.
Um,
I didn't see you come in, but I'm sorry.
we had done a live stream. Glenn got this genius idea. I haven't even posted the video of us planting in the garden yet, but we did a live stream while we were planting. And one of the questions that had come up was pesticides, different things you can use to keep the bugs out of your garden, along with not wanting harsh chemicals. We also don't like to use pesticides on our plants. Now, I've used 7 Dust before any fruit was on. And then Chris had mentioned that she uses successfully the diatomaceous earth, which we also use around here. I just hadn't realized that I could use it in my garden. So anything that you guys use for fruit trees, plants that are natural, keep the bugs away, pesticide?
I mean, we use diatomaceous earth all the time over here, but we also use the dormant spray. You guys ever use dormant spray on your fruit trees while they're during the winter?
No.
Never heard of it.
Oh, I need to do a video on the dormant spray. Of course, now it's a little too late, but it's basically just mineral oil mixed with I don't know, something that keeps it on the plants. But it's basically you just cover the dormant branches of your fruit trees with this mineral oil, and you know how bugs are, they breathe through their skin, so it kills off any of the bugs that start attacking before they can get in there on those new shoots. So it's a pretty regular practice for a lot of fruit tree I don't know, I guess fruit farmers will do that often, and nut farmers will spray the dormant spray on their plants in the winter every year. And it's just mineral oil, so it's not a harsh, you could drink mineral oil if you really wanted to. I guess people use it as a laxative or something, but yeah, we didn't know about that till I think the year before last.
So here's my thing. I had some kind of organic fruits or fruit tree spray that I used last year, but I'm going to say we have a neighbor who has a pear tree that just produces to the max. And I could be wrong, but they don't like pears. So I don't believe they do anything to that tree, anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just do nothing, will I still get a good harvest, just maybe not as good, do you think?
Yeah. I think you could. I think it depends on the tree. I think that there's so many different varieties out there. It depends on your rootstock that the fruit tree's grafted onto. It depends on the graft, right? What branch or what type of tree it came off of. But I don't know. It's amazing. Sometimes just even the soil that the trees are planted in, some pockets of soil are way better than others. And so I don't know, but
I just know there's a lot of people that do a lot of stuff to their fruit trees. And I kind of would like to operate our homestead more so like in a simple way. Like if it's necessary, we do it. If not, don't, because gosh, we could be out there doing stuff 24/7 with the amount of, information people have with fertilizing that and treating this and treating that. Shane says he has a black fungus growing on 3 plum trees. Should I be concerned? And if so, how to treat it? So this whole fruit tree thing, although we've bought fruit trees for years, the care of them is brand new to us. Do you have any thoughts, ideas, recommendations? Nick, Jesse, anybody?
For black fungus, I don't know about the fungus, but I do know it depends, I guess, on how old your tree is too, Shane, because I know my father-in-law.
My child is on here.
Who?
Sorry,
Sorry, I missed
Owen Underwood. Boy,
Our kids are at school, and one of our oldest boys' friends has logged in. Says they're watching school.
Nice.
sorry. Continue on. Black fungus on the tree.
Yeah, my father-in-law had some really old trees, and he told us that the fungus started just attacking his trees, and he started losing limbs one by one. And he told us that fruit trees only last so long. They were 30-year-old trees, and he said he was lucky to have them last that long, and that they just get old, and then they get susceptible to disease. So it could be something like that. But
Good, because ours are about 20 years old.
Yeah.
yeah, I hate to break it to you. 30 years old, that might be the end of their life, Shane. I'm sorry to say. But yeah, some trees live longer than others, and some are more disease resistant. But from what I've heard, 30 years is a good age to get out of your tree before it starts keeling over. So
Definitely, like every year, buy another fruit tree.
Yeah, and I don't know if the ones around them that are younger would be susceptible to those diseases that are on the neighboring trees. I don't know all that much about fruit trees, to be honest. I need to learn more. But my father-in-law, he's had a lot of fruit trees, and so I've tried to learn all I can from him. But yeah, there's a lot to learn, that's for sure. And like you're asking, I don't know all those different things that you should do and those things that aren't really necessary. We're experimenting just like you.
Well, we need to find somebody who has a YouTube channel. Everyone seems to kind of have their expert area. For us, it's nothing. We're experts at learning and trying and experimenting, but somebody has got to have a YouTube channel that is just an expert on fruit trees.
Well, the thing I've found is that people are very opinionated sometimes about these different things, right? And my father-in-law, he's like an anti-trimmer kind of, some are like heavy pruners and some are very light pruners. He's a very light pruner. And some say, you should only leave so many branches on the tree and it should be this goblet shaped, fruit tree. And he says, well, yes, you should, but sort of. You don't want to trim it back too much. If you do, then it's more susceptible to disease and pests and things like that. So I think that there's a lot of opinion out there as well about what's best, and it depends on your climate and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. I'd like to learn.
I don't need to have like some orchard that produces to max capacity. I just want healthy trees that will produce enough for our family to enjoy it fresh and put some away. And that's what I need. Yeah.
Well, I know that my father-in-law, when he started getting the fungus and the disease on his branches, he would lop them off right away. And that was pretty extreme for him. He did not want to cut off his branches, but he said he needs to get that out of there so it doesn't spread to the rest of the tree. So
yeah, that's a good thought. I don't know. I know that our fruit trees have tons of new shoots at the ground level that I would love to learn how to correctly like graft trees and start like preserving those shoots. And then, gosh, they take forever, ever to grow. But I don't know, just that way, at least when we prune or something, we can start keeping it going.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm looking to do too, Jess, is so there's two different parts of the tree. There's the rootstock, and then there's the grafted part on top that becomes the branches that give the fruit. And so you've got two parts that are very distinct. One is designed to grow good roots, and one's designed to grow good fruits. And so the ones that come off the bottom, you got to see if they're below that scar And if they are, then they're good rootstock, which is what I'm looking for right now, is good rootstock that I can grow. And then I can put my own, whatever, nectarine, my favorite nectarine tree, I could graft that on there, or peach tree or whatever. But from what little research I've done, is there's different rootstock for different types of trees that you want to grow, and for different areas and all that. So
there's a lot into that.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I don't know anything, but I know enough to know that I don't know anything. So
maybe that's the next book I should order, be all about fruit trees.
Yeah, teach me. I need to learn.
So there's a guy that I saw on a live. His channel is called The Broke Farmer. I want to say he's in Georgia. He has a lot of fruit trees, and he's got a small plot. I mean, I say small. He doesn't have like 20 acres. He's got maybe an acre, 2 acres, but he's got like 50 fruit trees on this one little plot of land that he has. And he had a wealth of information about fruit trees. I'm not saying he's an expert. I'm just saying he does know a lot about fruit trees.
Broke farmer.
Broke farmer, yeah. He was on live with either Empty Homestead or I think I want to say it's Empty Homestead that I saw him on live with. But the boy knows them fruit trees, and he knows gardening in general. So
no.
Or subscribe to him now. I'll go check him out later and see what he knows.
Broke farmer, yeah. He's got some excellent videos. He got a lot of videos, and he's been around quite a while. He's got 3.44 thousand subscribers, so he's been around for a while.
Good
Zany May had. Sorry, Jess. Zany May had a good point that, if you go to your local ag extension, that they'll probably know what to tell you about your different fruit trees and things like that. They've been a great resource for us here in Arizona.
Very good. We'll have to check that out. Yeah, because we're just learning a little bit about everything. And obviously over the years, gosh, by the time we have grandchildren, I should be able to be an expert in something. Teach them.
Lots of things. How to use vinegar, that's for sure.
But if your farm or your ranch or your homestead is diversified, you have to know a little bit about everything. There's really no way of just knowing one thing. If you were just growing pecans, then maybe that's what you would know, be good at. But you're doing farming, you're doing ranching, you're doing homesteading, you're raising kids. You have to know a little bit about everything. So it's kind of hard to dive into just one item.
Yeah.
And even raising kids, we're not experts in that either.
Oh my gosh, that changes every day.
Yeah. Well, you're raising kids and you're raising parents.
You're bringing up a point of philosophy for me here, Jesse, because I want to do all the things, right? I want to raise all the things. I want to do what Jess is talking about, like, hey, we got lots of pine needles. How do we use those effectively, right? How do we be good stewards of everything that we've been put in charge of managing for this moment? But a big part of me wants to get really good at, like you said, raising pecan trees, right? Or something specific, and then trading with someone else who does something really well. Like, they grow the best organic turkeys in the area, and I want to trade my pecans with them for turkey. And I don't want to figure out how to grow great organic turkey. They got that dialed. Let's let them do that. Let's trade with them somehow. But it's a constant battle in my mind of, hey, I want to learn how to do that, but somebody else has already done it well. How can we work together? And that's a struggle in my mind. Is that something that you guys have considered as well, is trying not to do some things and trade with others, or even pay for stuff that isn't really worth it for you?
Definitely, to an extent. You have to realize that, at least for us, we don't have time to do everything. We just don't. So it's better for us to do what we can do and find somebody who does what we don't do. Like, for instance, right now, we don't currently raise our own beef. So we have meat in the freezer from somebody who does. And that works well. I think I guess what I should say is, I want to be an expert in growing my faith and be able to dabble in all this other stuff enough to have a good understanding on what I'm doing. So that should be my goal. But I like growing in a certain area and trading out with somebody with what they know how to do good. I think you've got to have that community.
I live with the premise of, I may not know how to do it, but I know where to go to find out. So, for example, I worked in HR for 20 years with Shell, and I had a lot of knowledge, contract knowledge, a lot of knowledge about the company, a lot of knowledge about the employees and everything. But I kept excellent records. I knew exactly where everything was. I knew where all the policies were, how to get to them, and everything. So when they asked me a question, if I didn't know it, I knew where to go. That's the same with us. Like for canning, Lisa doesn't know how to can everything, but she knows where to go to find out. Right? For example, the USDA book or the Ball canning book. There's resources out there available to where you don't have to store it up here. But if you know where to go, then you can do what you can just do. YouTube. I don't know how to do everything, but if I look at YouTube, so that's how to fix it. I had a problem with my step on my RV. Went to the YouTube, boom, pointed right to it, fixed it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are actually needing to jump on YouTube and find somebody who knows how to fix this seatbelt in my car because it doesn't want to retract all the way. So having access to the resources is definitely a benefit. And that's a lot of why we've been pushing so hard to share and also but get books because we need to have a tangible resource for those kinds of things. If we couldn't find it on the internet,
where your value comes in, for example, Nick, where your value comes in is the experience. So I may go to a book to find out how to do something, but Nick may have done it for 5 years in a row. Hey, Nick, give me your thoughts on how to do this or how to do that, how to ride a mountain bike. I've never ridden a mountain bike, but
don't ask me. I have no clue.
Well, you know how to fall off one. So
that's true. I ran into a tree last night, Jesse. I'm doing good.
So that would be one resource I wouldn't go to if I needed to learn about mountain bikes. I would not go to Nick.
That's a good call. See, you need to put that in your directory. Don't ask Nick about mountain biking. He ran into a tree.
Yeah. Now, how to repair a bike? Nick is probably a excellent person on how to fix a bike because he's crashed into trees. He ran into crevices. He's fallen.
That's true. Well, I'm realizing that I don't need to know anything about all these people on YouTube because Jesse has a full HR directory of everybody on YouTube, and I can just go to him. Hey, Jesse, I'm looking for somebody who's grown broccoli. Find me someone.
That's going to be a new category on my database here.
I've definitely come to find out through the things that we've done, the more and the more research you get a lot of knowledge. But in the end, it is definitely worthwhile to circle back around, find somebody who's done it for years, because a lot of times the things that I read were so important, got to do this, got to do that. In the end, people are like, no, it's really not a big deal. So,
Jerusha.
Hey, Jerusha.
Now, I was just trying to share a little tip that I've done with elderberry and mulberry bushes that have been real successful. I've even rooted, the sycamore trees. I took a branch off a sycamore and rooted it, just a little branch by my dog yard, and it's got leaf growth. So, for instance, you got these suckers on it. I did one off a mulberry that had them higher. This is a pear tree, and it has all these suckers at the bottom. And I actually have one. I don't know if this is growing off a root or if it grew off of pear that fell. So my pear this year is not really producing any fruit. It didn't do it so well last year either, but the years before it did really well. We purchased another, sorry, it's so bright out here. We purchased another fruit tree. It's right there, and I have one down the hill, a little bitty one. They won't produce for a while. But what I do is, so say this is a mulberry. I hadn't done it with pear yet. I've been successful with mulberry and, hold on a minute, with mulberry and elderberry. So you get the green suckers, you're going to cut it pretty much. This one broke off. So you take it. Sorry, my camera. You're going to cut it, and you're going to coat that in honey, raw honey.
Really?
Pure honey. And then you stick it directly in the ground. It's got to be moist or stay moist. And I have successfully planted 3 mulberry cuttings this way. One has died though, but I do have 2 that are getting leaves. And I actually have one of the mulberries that I did not too long ago. Let's see if I could go over here and show you.
I'm like down to watch down here on my phone. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm walking around here. It's bright, but I'll show you this mulberry I did.
Kirby, I see you're trying to jump in, but it says that your mic and camera are not connected, so it's not going to let you jump in.
This is a mulberry that I did off of a tree. It's a huge tree that my sister-in-law had. It was up in the top, all these fresh little suckers that were coming off her tree. And it's got growth.
Nice.
And I stuck it in honey, and I stuck it in the ground.
Wow. So how long do you leave it in the honey? Do you just dip it in the honey and then put it in the ground, or do you let it
coat it thick in honey, thick, like up to, I try to make sure it's up to 1 inch or 2 inches.
Man,
I stick it in the ground. I just wait for it to root itself. So I've done that with elderberry. And I've done it with the mulberry. I hadn't done it with this pear yet. I want to try the pear. But like AZ Homestead said, you don't know where that graft line.
Jerusha, do you make?
So I don't know if this is above the graft line.
Do you make any preserves or jams out of that elderberry?
Not yet, because I just got my little bushes. Mine are like a foot tall.
Oh, okay.
So all these
y'all
little
have
cuttings.
wild elderberry? We have a lot of wild elderberry. We made elderberry syrup, which is actually an elderberry juice, not syrup. But we have a lot of wild elderberry around where we are.
Yeah, we do, but I hadn't been able to collect enough to make anything. Okay. My father-in-law has it at his house, so
Hey, y'all, I got to jump off. I'm going to get going. Thanks for having me on, Glenn and Jess.
And
talk to y'all later.
Nick.
Bye.
Stay on your bike, Nick.
Yeah.
Well, this graft line, I think, is below this. I have like a knot here. And it goes up, and this is my pear tree. It's probably 12 years old, and it's smaller here and it's bigger here. And I don't know how much longer this tree will last, but this is growing off of the bottom below that notch where I think maybe the graft was. So I'm going to experiment, see if I could get it to root. So there you can see there's a knot.
Oh, okay.
Right there, and it's smaller here, and it goes bigger there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the suckers grow below the knot, and I don't know if that's because that's where it was grafted, and then there's some that grow right above it. So I was going to try on this one. I just been leaving, so I was just trying to see if it get a good root system, and we'll see if it actually will flower. It might actually flower in the next year or two. So.
Well, Jerusha, when those things start producing fruit, just remember, I am an elder.
This one produced so much one year. It was 2 years ago. I have pictures of us picking up, and we had a hurricane, and the hurricane that we just had, it was back 2 years ago. And after that hurricane, this top of my tree died.
Oh, it sure did.
And I don't know what happened to it after that. So we hadn't really pruned it at all, ever.
Flower sun tea. Ooh.
Oh, I do sun tea too. I have a video doing that too. It's nice. Husband loves
elderflower sun tea. That's what Zany makes.
Sun tea, but elderflower, that's one I want to try.
I've never heard such a thing. I'm learning so much.
So
that's what I'm telling you.
Citrus
YouTube is a great resource.
Yeah, you can put peaches in it, citrus in it, and let it sit on the outside for like 2 hours, and it makes a flavored tea.
Oh man. Okay, so Chris says I freeze dry my elderberry and then make teas out of it when everyone is feeling down. So that was one of the things I was going to be messaging you about, because I wanted to be able to freeze dry my elderberries, and I didn't know if you had done that yet. So I'm glad that you said that. I also learned a thing. We did a lot of elderberry, and I hate that they call it syrup because it's not like a syrup, but elderberry juice, I'm just going to say it. That is nutrition packed. But what I found out is actually,
if I get out the sun,
cook down the elderberries, you're losing a lot of the nutrition in it from what I'm hearing. And so it's actually better if you can consume, and I know this is one of those big no-nos, but if you can consume like 1 or 2 elderberries frozen a day, that's actually got a lot more nutrition. Do you have a take on any of that?
Yes, so Lisa and I consume the elderberry gummies, and they're supposed to be good for your immune system.
Right.
Yeah. So we take them every day.
Does anybody consume an elderberry like you pick the elderberry and eat it either raw or frozen, rather than any altering to it to make a gummy, a tea, a drink?
My kids have tried it, like kind of like raspberries.
Why can't you just put it in a smoothie? Maybe, if you're going to eat them whole or right off the tree, just make a smoothie out of them.
Well, you have to be careful, because if you consume too many, it will clean out your colon, they say.
Hey,
Well,
Chris.
Good morning.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're good. I'm nice and clean now that I got my soap.
Yay! See, he was waiting for that soap and it got there, and now I'm all excited, but he messaged me and said, you sent me 4 bars, and I said, that's because I just want to make sure you smell good.
Well, I'm telling you, I was expecting 1, but 4. I think she's trying to tell me something.
It's not for you, Jesse. It's for Lisa.
I see that, because the first one I opened up was like flowers. I said, what? You want me to smell like a flower?
Soap for Jesse.
I did. I sent him a variety pack of a bunch of different smells that we had.
Well, we send him soap too, so you should be good for a while, Jess.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, the one Jessica gave me has a little bit less. It's more of an almond smell to it.
And I will tell you, Grayson opened you guys' package yesterday. That came in the mail too. So we got all sorts of people with this logo coming around now.
Yeah, I found this out there. by the trash can. I picked it up. I may have to put it somewhere.
Trash can.
No.
Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, look, and Janet says she loves her soap too. Excellent. Well, I will tell you, our stickers came in yesterday, you guys. So our new stickers are here.
Wow. In the state of Arizona.
So, yep. So we decided to go ahead and get some new ones ordered.
What'd you
Ooh,
get?
I like it.
Yeah, so those turn out really good. But yeah, for the elderberries, freeze dry them, and then you can put them in teas when people aren't feeling good, and just drink them down, and they just rehydrate in the water and make it.
Wait. Are you talking about freeze drying the berry or the leaves?
The berry.
Berries only.
The berries only. Okay.
Yep. Freeze
What
dry
happens if you freeze
berries.
dry the leaves?
I don't use the leaves. I only use the berries.
I think there's a thing with parts of the elderberry plant that are not good for you, toxic, poisonous. I don't know. I don't want to be dramatic, but I would definitely look into it before you consume anything other than the ripe elderberry itself. Just because I don't know. I've read so much stuff that all kind of starts meshing together.
I believe that you're right on that. Just like a rhubarb, you only use the stem. You can't eat the
Like
leaves on the rhubarb. It's the same concept.
Like even the green parts of the, like where you have the berries, if there's green, they say to be careful because you don't want to consume any of the green of elderberry.
But then dandelions, you can eat them dandelion greens. Those are supposed to be really good for you.
You can root tea.
Do what?
The root, you can make a tea from like the root.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I made a dandelion tea and I wasn't impressed.
That was out of the flower.
Out of the flower. And the only reason I wasn't impressed is it took me so darn long to pick all them dandelions for one batch of tea that I went ahead and went and picked again and put them in olive oil to infuse my oil so I can make a salve like this winter or something. Yeah.
Well, little fun fact about dandelions. Lisa was we've been looking for dandelions up here. Dandelion is an Americanized name. The true name of that flower is dent, like tooth, dent the lion. And it was, from over the other side of the pond. But it's a dent the lion.
Some dandelions, Jesse. We'll pick some and send them to you.
Oh yeah, Lisa, we've been looking for them. They're hard to find down here.
I have Texas dandelions. Mine are tall. They're confirmed Texas, I guess, because they're big.
They're huge. I bet.
Huge. I'll have to send you some seeds, Jesse.
You
Okay.
got them in Mississippi, and Jesse can't find them in Texas, but they're a Texas dandelion.
We're driving all over the place looking for them. They come out in March, right? In the
Yeah.
spring, March, April, and if you don't catch them, they're gone. I mean, they don't stick around for that heat.
Now, see, ours start in March, but we'll have them all summer
Yeah.
where we're at.
Right
Yeah,
now.
you can make tea out of that. You can make
Not all summer. We won't have them all.
jellies and jams. There's a lot of things you make with the dandelion.
I'm gonna say our dandelions will actually go away probably here in about another month. Because as we continue to mow, then they'll stop growing here before long.
I wonder if it's because of elevation too.
It might be.
Because like Nick said, he's at 5,400 feet. We're at 5,200 feet where we're at. So we're a little bit lower than he
I think
is.
most of it has to do with the heat, though. We have a lot of, high heat in the 90s with 60% humidity. So I don't know if the flowers can take that.
We're in Mississippi, South Mississippi, so we get high humidity, but I always get these Texas dandelions here. They're huge.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can find me some Mississippi dandelions.
They're about
So
that.
I can get some Mississippi dandelions.
Sorry.
Got you some seeds. I have to get you some to you.
What's the difference
thank
between
you.
a dandelion and I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna botch this name, but calendula is how I heard someone pronounce it. Is that right? What's the
Calendula.
difference?
Oh, I have some. Here, I'll show you.
Here's my calendula right here.
It's just the flowers more in the daisy family, more so than the dandelion family. This is calendula.
Okay.
Jesse, here's my calendula.
I don't even
In a
know.
can.
It's already been salved up.
So you take the flowers and you use the flowers for the salves.
I gotta show you this. Okay.
Of course, she's got to step
Right.
away and put her salve now.
No, I had. Well, so I had ordered a bag of this should be calendula because I make a healing salve out of it. It's just like a Neosporin type thing. But this
Thank you, Jennifer.
comes in the mail, and gosh, I wish you could see. There you go. I was like, those look like dried dandelions. And so I thought, man, I really got ripped off because I could have picked them myself. And then I picked them myself and realized how much work it is. But it looks a lot like what I would think a dried dandelion would look like.
Oh, I was trying to find a dried one. But I think I plucked it the other day and I gave it to Chuck and Belinda so they can use it for seed.
Marigolds, really? I grew marigolds last year. I didn't know that.
Yeah, baby.
I put marigolds. See, I'm learning all this is like new to me. I put marigold seeds in our garden last year, and they just went crazy. They did great, but I
It helps
didn't
keep the bugs away.
flowers.
Yeah,
And I have a
marigolds are
bunch.
good for bugs.
Yeah.
Do what?
That, ladybugs, marigolds, 22s, they keep the bugs away.
22s, because your bugs are bigger in Texas.
Texas, that's right. Our bugs have 4 legs.
Here's a flower off of one. It broke. Whoop, I dropped it.
Morning, Tennessee bushcrafter.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
What about zinnias? I'm also going to plant zinnias. Do you use that for anything? Or
Zinnias?
Yeah.
Zinnias.
That.
I think the flower's edible.
See, this is all going to have to go into my all its uses series. I love learning all
You
that.
need to keep that notebook going, so just in case you don't have internet, you've got it all written down, Jessica.
I know. I need to get a notebook out and notate it. Just
Yeah, so like on my database I got here, I got Gosmania or Jerusha is elderberry, knowledge on elderberry and fruit trees. Mm-hmm.
Flowers, all flowers. She knows which
And
ones
flowers.
are
There you
edible.
go. So I need to know something about that. I'm gonna check her out, and she
Learned
probably
this
has
year.
a video on it. So check out her channel.
now you guys are filling me full of knowledge.
I'm gonna do a video on more so the flowers because I also have like toothache plant, marshmallow plant that I've been growing. I'm trying to do the more medicinal side so I could dry those just in case I ever need them. And horehound, I have horehound growing in borage just to learn about the plants myself because I was trying to branch out more into the medicinal side of some of the plants. to learn this year. So I'm learning, but as I learn, I'll probably post videos of what I learn as well. So
I love it. Yes. I think it's great. It's all a learning process.
Now, how far away from you are you from Chuck, Jerusha?
he's in Purvis, so it's about, I don't know, it's about 40 minutes maybe.
Oh, that's nothing. Oh, y'all are close.
So I live 25 minutes north of the beach, basically Biloxi, Gulfport, Gulf Coast.
Been there. Gulfport.
How are you, Shane?
Hey, everybody. How are you?
We're learning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Shane.
well, I was just, here are my trees, my plum trees.
Let's pull. Let me
This is
hold on.
the,
Let me make you solo so you can show us. full
Wow.
this is the stuff that I'm talking about, the black fungus
Yeah.
Well, that's plum
right
rotten
here,
Oh, I see it now.
right?
Okay.
And I've got that one. I've got this one here. I've got two more down here.
And did you
And
say the trees were 30 years old?
yeah, this is my grandparents' homestead. That's like we're third generation here.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
my great grandparents. Yeah, so these trees, like Nick was saying, that tree has a lifespan. So and it's bugging me now that I'm hoping that it doesn't, because these trees have given fruit every second year for like I said 30 years, and they just hang plums when they do bear fruit. It's just the plums are just unreal here. So I'm hoping that they're not gonna. I don't have to cut them down. They've been here for so long, but the more I look at them and listening to what you guys had to say and what Nick had to say, I'm wondering about it. So
Hey,
That's right.
Shane, there is okay, so there's an app for identifying plants and flowers and such. There is an app called Fungus ID you can go to, or a website at least. It's called Fungus ID, and it'll help you at least identify what it is. Then you can
Okay.
research what to do about it. And it's
okay. I'm going to show you guys what I'm up to today, just right quick.
Okay, you want to pull him back full screen real quick? Push that. Yep.
This here is my grapevine. Right there.
He is, but on ours we can't see him for some reason. That's why we got him on the phone. Yeah, you got some trimming to do there, Shane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on the last 2 days here, is getting all the dead out of it and just pruning it, and also weaving it. I weave it all through so that any new shoots will just continue to wrap and go the fence line.
My brother-in-law
But this has been here for 40 years as well. Like I said, this is the grandparents' homestead that I took over after they had to move.
Shane, Jesse just posted a link for a fungus identifier. It's fungusid.com. Might want to check into that and see if you can find something out on there.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Thank you very much, Jess. I will. Again, having all this property here and having everything that my grandparents has spent their lifetime doing, it hurts the heart when you start losing this kind of stuff. And so I'm hoping. Thank you very much, Jess. Everybody in the chat and all you guys, Glenn and Jess, thank you so very much for having me on. Chris,
You want to reach
thank
out.
you so very much, Chris.
maybe try to save some of those new branches that have come off of those old trees and try to get them to root as well, like with the honey or whatever way you can try.
Definitely great advice. Again, the thing is it takes so long to get our trees to what they were and what they are. You guys know that.
Yep.
It takes a long time to start getting fruit bearing on your property. So I'm hoping with using, yeah, with the hope with using Jess, I'll check that out so I can get a little bit more information on, because there's other things going on my property too. Yeah,
Also,
thanks,
there's
Jess.
another app that's called Picture This, and we use this every day to identify plants and flowers and such. It's called Picture This. It looks
Okay.
like that if you look in your app store.
You get some.
Yeah, I'll definitely get it. Definitely get it.
But
Definitely.
we love it. Like I said, I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I know where to go.
Well, that's, you know what, and that's the big thing. That's the big thing for sure.
Tennessee Bushcrafter Shane says he's got a big library on a lot of funguses and stuff. You might reach out to him too. He might be able to help you.
Yeah, that's Chris from Tennessee Bushcrafter.
Okay, definitely. So, guys, thank you so very much for having me up. I got to get at that grapevine and get it tamed down a bit. And again, I'm so far behind here in Nova Scotia, Canada, because the weather was just not cooperating. Today, it's somewhat cooperating. Yesterday was beautiful, and I got quite a bit done. But we've had a harsh winter. Things in our properties had taken some really good beating. So I've got lots to do, and I really appreciate all you guys and all your channels, because it's helping my family out here in another country altogether. So thanks very much, guys. Take care.
Before you leave, remember when those grapes start producing, just remember this: I am an elder.
Oh, definitely, man. We're doing wine this year. That grapevine just hangs grapes every year. It just hangs. So we're going to be doing wine this year. Me and Crystal, my wife, we're going to be making wine. So I'm hoping that we do a really good batch so that we can share it out. And
mine's good for my heart.
It is, and me too. That and beer. I keep telling the wife that's good for the heart. It keeps the blood flowing.
Yeah, I don't know about beer, but I've heard wine is good for the heart. They don't have no heart disease in France.
Yeah, well, see, and I drink a lot of beer, but I'm healthy as a horse, so so it's got to be something. Take care, guys. Thank you so very much.
See you later. Have a good day.
Yeah.
I want to answer Chris, Tennessee Bushcrafter. I don't make any muscadine because I don't have any muscadines, but I do have muscadine jelly that we purchased from a local. It's a local town around here called Dayton. They have a place there, and they sell the muscadine jelly. I love it.
We have scuppidines everywhere on our property. Everywhere.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're all through the South: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas.
We mow over a little bit because they kind of spread out, but then I try to root some I try to put some in pots so I can maybe sell them because some people like them.
Well, one thing, I hope Shane's still listening, but he needs to keep all of those grapevine clippings. His wife does a lot of signs like we do, and she can make wreaths and things out of those too.
Oh yeah, they're good for wrapping.
Mm-hmm. And she can also they can use them in their garden to help post different plants up by making grapevines.
Yeah,
and braiding them and making.
If you use a grape, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The leaves too. You can put to keep your pickles.
Yeah, we use the leaves at our house. We do a casserole with them, and we stuff them with cheese and some other things, and roll them and make a full casserole out of the grape leaves.
Ooh,
a Greek dish. Mm. So we use ours.
Yummy.
Definitely, I have to do a video on it.
Yes.
Hey, Chris, send me an email. Look, it's on my about page, and I'll get back with you.
I might have to let the chick feed today because I'm running low on baby chick feed.
Oh, I was gonna say, can those you just eat off the ground?
My big ones did, but I got some new ones, and I got a new baby chicks, so they're out of their chick. They're outside actually pecking off the ground now. I bring them out like in a little daycare center.
So the bigger chickens,
like
the bigger chickens, they scratch, right? They go out in the yard and scratch. Do the little ones? Do the little ones scratch, or they just itch?
They'll scratch too. They'll scratch the ground and peck around at the ground.
Scratch, just itch.
They're so too small, so they just itch. They don't scratch yet.
Jesse.
My kids will scratch me and they'll itch me all the time. Hey, mama. I guess it's the same with baby chicks.
Yep.
Did you see it? Chuck said, I'm as healthy as a horse, an 80-year-old horse that's blind in one eye.
Yeah.
That's why he's always going around in circles.
I am. Chuck always got something to say. It's funny.
Sorry. Bumped something.
So you can throw that link up one more time if anybody else wants to jump on
Yeah.
too and has anything to say. If not, then we'll maybe do an end here before long. There's Chuck already coming up. Look at him.
Oh no, he wants to defend himself. Come on, Chuck.
Hey, yeah, I figured if I'm up here on the screen with you, you won't talk quite as bad about me. But
No,
Or we'll talk worse.
no, you're more of a target now.
yeah, I guess so. No, I just want to be up here in the midst of greatness. I'm sitting in there in the chat, and I'm like, what am I doing? I got to get up there with them. I got to be.
There's the greatness right there.
Now
There's the greatness right there.
great because Chuck jumped in.
How do you point down? There's the greatness right there.
Oh,
This is what I've been dealing with all morning.
Oh,
Tell me you love pop.
Hold on now. Stay there.
I like that.
you like pops?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they made you full string. Look there. Look there.
hey, baby girl.
There she
Tell
is.
everybody hello.
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 Mhm.
I'm learning all kinds of stuff this morning.
No doubt. Us too.
All right, take me off this thing.
You want to be up there, Chuck. You're up there. You got the full screen.
You
Right.
did put me on. Well, I've been fending off these grandbabies this whole time because I said I got to type, I got to do this, got to do that, and so now that I got up on screen, she has seen her chance. So,
The man, the myth, the legend, Chuck.
man, hey there, girl.
Hey there, girl.
Hey, this is like, where'd mama go? See?
That's what
All right, I just want to say hi. It was eating me up.
You got somebody else coming now in your background. Oh, it went away.
Oh, hi.
Who's that?
Hi.
Jennifer, you can join anytime. Come on, Jennifer.
We won't stay on too much longer because Cody over at Hog Deer 79, he's going to go live at 11. So
What time? I don't even know what time it is.
it is 10:17.
Hey, let me throw a plug in. I am going to be on my first.
Hi.
I think it's my first time that I'm going to be on somebody's channel, other than just pop-ups at 12, called the Chatterbox Gals.
Chatterbox gal.
I'm serious. I'm like, why? Why are y'all wanting me up here?
We're supposed to be on Thursday.
That must be saying something about you, Chuck. Are you a Chatterbox?
I just Chatterbox. I was worried more about the gals than the Chatterbox. I think it might be because they seen me. It may have seen that video where I had
No.
my curlers and my movement on.
No, Chuck. Today, the one that you on today because today is International Squirrel Day.
Oh
Today's
my.
Squirrel Day. Hey, I ain't getting that suit. What's that suit on?
That squirrel suit that Creekside had on last night. I thought about you. As soon as they popped it up, I thought about you. Squirrel. And it even comes with its own nuts.
That's it. Hey, I got plenty of nuts around here, y'all. They running everywhere. Anyway, all right, let me get off here. I'm figure out how to get off here. Kick me off, Jess.
Hi, Chuck.
Right, Chuck. I was gonna say, what's in the water over Mississippi? Everybody's got long hair. I can't grow nothing.
I'm just crazy here all the time. I'm just thrilled we have water again. We were just trickling water, and the drill company came out and had to go 375 feet down to pull our pump out. Our pump was defaulting. So last night I took the longest shower I've ever taken because there was so much hot water and pressure going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you with your hair down, Chris. You always had that bun or whatever you call it.
My hair is waist length.
Are
So-
you serious?
Waist? Did you say waist?
Yeah, waist length. So
Oh
it's
my goodness.
So I keep it up a lot because right now it's so windy in our area that it just wraps around my head and then I can't see and it's crazy. So this time of year it's always pulled. It's always pulled up. But yeah, it goes down to my waist. Actually, 3 of my daughters have waist length hair.
My daughter does too, and mine will hit my waist, but it curls. So
Yeah, see, and mine's not. We have no humidity. If we had humidity, I'm sure that it would start. But yeah. So, but yeah, I had the best shower last night, you guys. I was so thankful. I didn't realize how long we hadn't had like great pressure.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, you really find out how fortunate we are to have running water in our homes and running water with pressure whenever you lose that luxury.
You better go do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Larry and Berlin put in a new pressure tank, hoping that was the problem. So right there was $600 over the weekend. That was my Mother's Day gift. I was like, oh, yay. And they got it in and we were all excited. And then the pressure didn't go over 20%. And we're like, oh, no. So the drill company came in yesterday. So
ours wasn't 300 feet down, though. That was
we have a hand dug well. It's about 14 foot deep. If it was full of water, it's about 5 foot around. But it stopped working back in December, I think it was, when we went on vacation and come back to it not working. When we figured it was the pump. So we went in and pulled the pump out, replaced the pump, kicked it back on, and it built up pressure for about 10 pounds and then switch. So then we replaced the pressure switch and then to the control box. And then after all those things, and we kicked it back on, then we put a new pump in also, another pump, and then switched it out, put the old pump back in, and then another new pump. So we pulled that pump out there 4 or 5 times and finally called the well company. And we actually had it hooked up the last time, but when we cut the pipe, we put in a rubber fitting in between because we cut it to make it shorter to bring the pump off the bottom of the well a little bit. Well, with just the torque of that pump kicking on, it separated it. And I was so frustrated after it didn't work the last time. I didn't even go to look in the well to see. I just called the well company. Well, he comes out and he looks around and goes over there, gets down in the well, and the pipe had disconnected. So it was just pumping water back into the well. So it was working, but it was no $300 to have the well guy come out and tell me that I needed a glue fitting.
Oh yeah, no, mine was 5,000 yesterday. So I just went, oh, that's not good. So, but yeah, they came in and they pulled the wellhead, they pulled all the piping out because our valley is sitting on an aquifer. So we've got one half of our town that's on a water system through the town, and we're out in the county way out, and all of these houses are all wells. So yeah, it was crazy, but they replaced the control box, they replaced the switch, they replaced the everything. So we got it all done, and now I have, like I said, water pressure that's amazing, but now my hair is totally out of control again. So but that's okay. We'll get there. With the wind blowing yesterday, we had about 35-mile-an-hour winds yesterday.
I was going to tell Jerusha, my wife's got real thin hair and real straight. She paid big bucks to get those curls, and then there's women paying tons of money to get those curls.
I used to have thick hair, and then after kids, it got curlier and curlier and curlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's women that would die for those curls.
So this is freshly washed from last night, and it curls. And sometimes I'll re-wet it, and let it curl back since it's a little out of freezing crazy. But a lot of people I like my hair. There's some days I straighten it. I kind of want it straight, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to tell you guys a funny too about this whole thing is we went to Home Depot to go get the new pressure tank, and Larry looked at me. He said, "Aren't you gonna video this?" Like he wanted. So there'll be a video next week.
And who's this Larry guy again you keep talking about?
Right? That's exactly. And he's like, "Aren't you gonna video this? This is kind of important on our homestead."
It's an opportunity for him to get on camera.
Exactly. Actually, we're hoping to see him a little more. School's out in 2 weeks.
Tell
So
him if you don't get in video, you're going to take his name off the channel.
right, it's just gonna be Chris's channel.
Yeah.
The Chris and Kids channel.
Exactly.
Chris and
Exactly.
Kids.
Yeah, he was just so funny. He's just like, can you video, please? Aren't you going to? So
Yeah, our kids are starting to get into asking, well, are you going to video this? And it's funny how you kind of start thinking about documenting.
We
all of
actually try to.
go ahead.
She was
Oh, I
talking about her
can't.
pump, and it reminded me we tried to do a pitcher pump, but we went about 15 feet ourselves by hammering the own pipe down yourself like you do in your own. And it ain't quite right. We don't know what happened but we do have to get a new seal around this new pump that we got because the other one kind of warped. So we're hoping that once we get that fixed, then maybe we can shove a hose down it and blow out any dirt because it hit water. We just don't know if we went down quite far enough, but they say not to go to a certain depth anyway because we're in a low spot on our property anyway. We're hoping to get that hand pump done because we have hurricanes here, and I just want that hand pitcher pump so when we don't have no water because we don't have no generation run off of our well yet, we're going to get it ready to do that.
It shouldn't take you long to hit water. You're right there by the coast.
Yeah, we water witched it, with the willow tree branches, and then we try to find a spot where it kind of came down, where the stick will flip over.
My grandfather used to do that, but he used the rods. He used the 2 rods, and they would cross.
Yeah, and
Whenever
dried up, so we use the metal hangers, and you bend them to a certain way, and they'll cross.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask it questions, but that's a bit too much. I'm like, I don't want to go that far.
Well, and that's how he used to find. He used to find pipes. He worked for the city of Ganado, and they would find pipes just by out there with wire, and then it would cross. There's the pipe right there.
Yeah,
they dig it up, and sure enough, it was right there.
Yeah, Chris, I was at the point on our well. If I couldn't get it figured out, I was fixing to have them just drill me a whole new well because I was frustrated and ready to start throwing stuff.
I know we were going through all the list of the possible what was going wrong with what our with the pump and everything, and that was our next thing. We're like, if he has to drill another well, that's going to be $15,000, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, no vacation for the next 20 years to try and do that. So
in hindsight, Glenn, that $300 was a savior.
Yes, absolutely.
I ended up somewhere's around, what did I say? Somewhere's around 1,000
It
to
was like 11.
14, somewhere in there between the pump and the switches. And I had an electrician. My buddy was an electrician. I had him out here 3 times, and then the well people out here. So yeah, I had probably about $1,300 in it when it was all said and done.
Better than 13,000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The water hose is up there by the garden. Can you give them water?
It's expensive when you have to pay other people to come in and do stuff. That's for sure.
I just got 2 words for you, Glenn. Oh well. But
beauty of our with the well was that it is it doesn't run our house. It's what we use out in the garden and for the animals. So unlike you guys, Chris, we could have went without it if need be.
But the good thing about our house, our well too, is this house used to be random well. If we ever did lose city water, all we have to do is there's a gate valve out there in the shop, and we just shut the meter off, the water off at the meter, and we can open that gate valve, and it'll actually feed our house again if we needed it to. So.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, Berlin had called me last week. I was out and about doing errands, and he called and he goes, Mom, there's no water in the goat yard.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what do you mean there's no water in the goat yard? I said, did you just shower? You know what? He goes, well, I did just shower. So he had drained that pressure tank all the way and then tried to go trickle water out. He's like, I've been out here for an hour and I can't get it to run. Oh.
So how did you end up? How long were you down, and how did you end up watering your goats and stuff then?
We would time it. So I told my girls, I'm like, you're not washing your hair every single day. I'm like, because you can take a quick 3-minute shower, just to get the water warm and in there and washed and back out. So we just timed everything. So dishwasher didn't go on until after we went to bed. I've streamlined laundry at our house, so everybody has a day. So they would just throw their laundry in the afternoon. So we would just have specific times. But we would go out and I'd set a timer for an hour, and I'm like, okay, the pressure's back up enough to go do goats. Go stick the hose in, one of the water bins. And so that's all we did. We just had to time everything. But there were times that I'm like, don't flush, because if you flush the toilet, there won't be any water for outside, and it'll take another, half hour to get.
So
That's
we're,
when we get our pool.
So
For pool
we're
water when we
true-
do that.
We're true preppers over here, so we only bathe once a week, and I use the water first, and then after I finish, Lisa takes the second one.
but now you've got soap.
And
So
then
you
now we got, the goat soap loves it.
I have to head out, y'all. I got stuff.
All right, Jerusha.
Nice
We'll
talking.
see you, Jerusha.
Bye.
Having
Thanks
me
for
on.
the info. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, I got the dandelion scenes. I'm going to have to email you.
Okay. It's
My
Dent
fine.
the Lion.
Dandelion.
Dent the Lion.
Dent-
Google it. If you don't believe me, Google it.
Backyard Hillbillies. That's a new name. I haven't met them yet.
I think they do a lot of like magnet fishing and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa wanted me to tell you why. She's because the reason they call it Dent the Lion is because of the serration on the leaves. If you look at the leaf real close, you'll see the little serrated edges, teeth looking. They look like teeth. Hence
Excellent.
the Dent the Lion.
I like it.
Information you probably don't never use.
I have so much piled up here.
No.
At least we know. We've learned a lot today.
Yeah. This
Have
is a
you
very-
guys seen the new challenge that is out? It is called the $50. Hold on. I'm going to look it up because I wrote it down here. $50 February 2023 challenge.
I saw that. I can't remember who it was that put it out, but I did see it, and they were saying something about using like you're not going to the grocery store for any of your food or anything like that in the month of February in 2023. But then also giving you like a $50 allowance and then like $25 for per kid or something.
Well, I'm challenging both of you
So,
because
so
our
that one-
family
that
is
one-
doing it.
So that one was called the Old Swede Challenge, and it was put out
Yes.
by it was put out by the Old Swede Farm or the Old Swedes Farm. I'll drop the link.
Absolutely. This looks amazing. I actually did a video. It'll drop tomorrow. Where our family is doing it. Berlin's a little skeptical because he's like, I need my Mountain Dew. So
Stock up on gummy bears, Chris.
gummy bear. I will live off of gummy bears. We're good. And Skittles.
And Skittles.
Yeah. So what we're doing is this weekend, we're actually going through our freezers and seeing what meat that we've raised in there versus what is store-bought in there. And we've got 2 big deep freeze. So we're going to put all of our own meat in one, and all store-bought in the other. And this challenge looks amazing. It's $50 for a couple plus $25 each kid in the household. That's all the money you've got for the entire month of February at the grocery store. Everything else has to come from you gathering, hunting, producing, or raising your own.
What if you bought beef from somebody else that's in your freezer that you didn't raise? That doesn't count.
I don't know. So I'm going to look more into it because we've
Yeah.
got a cow that we did buy and we raised one. So I have to kind of go through and go, okay, the date on the meat, which one is ours, But I'm really excited about this. And my kids, Grayson, of course, is just like, yeah, we can do this, no problem. And I'm like, yeah, you eat this much because you're little and 11. But I have, with Berlin being a full adult, he actually turns 17 next February. So, and he's 6'3". So I look at that and I'm like, okay, so can we do this? Well, we're gonna go ahead and give it a try and see. So I'm challenging both of you guys. I'm challenging everybody in the chat too, because this looks really awesome. Our video will drop tomorrow morning at I have 5 a.m. our time.
Check that out because I definitely would want to know the rules. I mean, obviously we have freezer full of beef that came from another local farmer. But, I have stuff that's freeze dried and canned and stuff like that. But not everything was raised here on our homestead. For instance, we had some canned chicken that we had stocked up on, and it was going to go bad in November. So we went ahead and freeze dried it. So I don't want to like say I'm doing something and then cheat on accident, you know.
Hey,
Right,
but-
right.
Yeah, we've got. Can you use like the $25 allowance per kid for one kid?
Yeah.
Because we have one kid who only eats chicken nuggets.
Well, that's where you can learn to make your own chicken nuggets off of chickens that you raise.
If they don't
wanna raise
look
some
like
meat
store-bought chicken nuggets, Chris, he will not eat them.
That's so funny. I had one like that for a long time, and I'm just like, whatever, this is what I'm cooking. I'm not a short order chef, you know, and it worked after a couple weeks. I'm like, either you eat it or nothing. But I was really excited about this challenge because we've got 9 months to prepare. So everything coming out of our garden this season, and the freeze dryer makes it a whole lot easier. I was laughing because some people are like, I'm going to can everything and freeze everything. And I'm like, dude, I'm just putting it through the freeze dryer. And I've got all these meals. And it's everything that we're raising. Like tonight, for instance, we're doing stuffed bell peppers that are off of our bell pepper plants. So I'll just make extra because I've got beef that is still ours that I found in the freezer. So we're just going to do right from there and just have it ready. So yeah, it starts right now. It's the 5th. The money part is just for February, but it starts now for everything that you do. So yeah, she's spot on this. So it's all this season's growing.
Well, we're stuck to just eating rabbit for meat then, because we don't have any meat chickens.
I can go get me a beef right now and raise it, I guess.
See, and that's what we talked about. It's like I've got one freezer at my parents' house that is all pork from stuff that we've raised. So I know, for us, we can do that. Yeah, see, Cody's good. He's got deer.
So can it not be stuff that you already have?
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. It's stuff that you've raised on your farm. So, and there's no way for me to get a pig right now because it's fair season. So all the pigs are going to 4-H kids. So,
pretty much vegetarian.
Right? But give it a try. Just look into it because this is awesome looking. You can totally have dandelion salads. I'm telling you.
For every meal.
For every meal. Well, and the thing is if you've got chickens, you've got eggs.
Yeah.
You look at all the different things that can go through. What do you have there?
That's my elderberry.
There's your elderberry. You can freeze dry that and make it big.
I eat 2 of these every day.
I need to find those for Jesse and freeze dry them so they blow up like a gummy bear.
And what's this other one, Lisa?
I'm gonna throw one more quick plug out there. I just got notified on my phone for Cody's live in 30 minutes. So if y'all are done, go check him out.
Awesome, possum. Well, you guys, thank you so much for having me on today. I appreciate it. But freeze dry those elderberries, and then you can use them for teas later.
Oh, we definitely will, and we'll have to look into this challenge. I think it'd be fun to do. I know I could do it, but I could eat just meat and potatoes. So
right. Well, and then that's part of the challenge is growing herbs that you would use.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know for us that 125, because it's 125 for us, depending on if Tristan's home or not at that point. But flour and sugar, that's the 2 things that I'll make sure, and yeast. Or if the sourdough's going, look at Jesse, he's got another one.
This is my apple cider vinegar in a gummy.
Huh.
Why don't you shoot the apple cider vinegar?
I'm sorry?
Just shoot it.
I have, and I can do that too. But
it makes
this is so much tastier.
Yeah. Apple cider vinegar like that makes my stomach hurt. Well,
you got to mix it with honey. Put a little honey in it, and it's very easy to go down. Hey, but I put a link up there for copycat recipes for all the famous restaurants that sell like their honey mustards and McDonald's, Cracker Barrel, Olive Garden, Starbucks.
That one.
I don't know if they have the McDonald's chicken nuggets in there, but if they do, then you can make your own chicken nuggets.
I really do want to start raising some meat chickens. Oh, Chris, I don't know if she got kicked out or jumped out, but I did not kick you out. I don't know if her internet kicked her out, but I really do want to raise meat chickens.
Well, you got the property to do it.
There she is.
There she comes back.
Yeah, we have
my internet went down.
I was going to say, I didn't kick you out.
No, everything went down. My entire internet server went down. I was like, I'm here, please. But yeah, no. This challenge looks really cool. So, like I said, Jesse, I want to see, can you raise something to eat?
The only thing I raise around here is hell, but you know that's I don't know if you can eat that.
No, I don't think you're going to be able to
It raises
sustain
a lot of plants.
I don't think that'd be good food for the soul, Jesse.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. But
Maybe
you know how I just sprinkle myself with holy water. You know how you make holy water, right? You boil the hell out of it.
Maybe I can talk Glenn into having another kid so we have an extra $25 for February.
Right?
That would be some serious raising there.
No, like I said, Berlin was very concerned, but that's the autism in him. He's like, I get my Circle K drink. That's his everyday drink. He buys like this $6 package that Circle K has where you can go get a big gulp or whatever it is every single day. I mean, he's like, can I do that? And I'm like, no. So, and Takis.
Oh, Takis, yeah.
Oh, Takis are good.
And I'm like, you can't live off of that, and I'm not going to spend the $125 on that. Sorry, buddy.
Have you had Takis and guacamole?
Yes. I think we've had every flavor of Taki in this house, and he just comes out and he's got green fingers or red fingers, and I'm like, that's the grossest thing ever.
Yeah, I like the red Takis dipped in guacamole.
Does he sit and just suck it all off his fingers and stuff too, Chris? Because that's what Hunter does.
They don't change whether they're littles or whether they're bigs. They still do the same thing, and he just
He'll lick it off, and then he'll get down in the bag in the corner.
Yep. Stick his face in the bag. And
Lisa worked at the school. And she said that's all those kids eat is those Takis.
Yes,
Takis like they're going out of style.
So he asked me about that, and I'm like, well, we can probably put a little bit towards that just because that's his happy food. So. But definitely, like I said, look into this because I'm excited. We'll have enough quail anyway in general, for this challenge as it is. I'll just make sure that we have the right days. And my little photo camera
coming up too, so I can go deer hunting and harvest a couple of deer to put in the freezer. So
now here in Arizona, we have to get tags for deer, and our tags already came and gone, and we didn't get one this year. So
wow.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to time it and see if we can use old food that we've already raised ourselves, or if we have to start fresh.
Yeah, I need to find the specifics on that because when I first heard about it, it was just through the grapevine, and I was thinking it was like anything that you have stored.
I dropped the link in there, so it's in there for Sweeney's Creek's challenge.
Perfect.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I'll have to check that out for sure because we definitely need to know. I don't want to be saying I'm doing something, messing it all up.
Well, and one of the things that he said in his video is, they don't want you going shopping and bulk buying everything on January 31st.
Yeah,
right.
For that challenge. I mean, if we could do that, I'd already be done and ready. But like I said, I'm real excited about even trying this. Even if we fail it, it's a good challenge for us to be able to see how much we can produce this summer.
Yeah, just how self-sufficient you are.
So I don't know about producing, but since we're a subsetter, we're in a suburban area. When we go to the farmers market, we buy a bunch of food from the farmers market. We freeze, we do all that. So I mean, I don't know if that counts, but I mean that's our way of if you will, prepping for the year.
Right. Yeah.
But
so we'll have to see if that works for that because I mean you're still preparing the food ahead of time. So
right. I mean we got tons of jars of prepared food, right? I mean, soups, beans, you name it, we got it. But the thing is I don't know if that's going to, fly as the 20, for the challenge.
Right.
Because I'm not growing anything. Well, we're growing. We got a pecan tree. We grow pecans. We got citrus trees. We grow, oranges. But other than that, we don't grow. I mean, unless I go in and get me a hog or buy a half hog, grow it on somebody else's property, and then count that meat towards the challenge. But
right.
Yeah, so I'll definitely look into the rules a little bit more. But we're dropping a video tomorrow. We're gonna go ahead and give this a try and see if it works for us. Like I said, we do have a lot of items coming off of our homestead, so. even if I can only make it 2 weeks, I can still make it 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So, and we've got an aquaponic system, so we can do or fresh lettuces and spinaches where we're at, even in the winter time, and get that going. We're actually resetting up our aquaponics in the next week or so. So we'll be getting that. We got new tarps to put over our greenhouse.
Is that different than hydroponics, aquaponics?
Yes.
It is different?
Yeah. Hydroponics is just using water across.
Okay.
Aquaponics is using fish to fertilize the water. So we have carp in our fish tank. We've got a big IBC tank that's full of goldfish. And we could actually eat the goldfish, I guess, if we really wanted to. I don't know that I want to, but
don't tell Chuck about you got fish over there.
Right?
He'll be over there with his googling hand, ready to go in there and noodling hand, right? Not googling, but his noodling hand.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So with the fish poop in the water, basically, and that water gets siphoned up through a pump that comes across to the plants, and it fills they're the 55-gallon blue barrels cut in half long ways. And so we got 4 of those lined up, and we plant different produce in those, and then the water siphons back down and back into the fish tank.
Do you have a video of that? I've missed
I may have a video of it, but we'll redo a video because
see that.
We went down in November. All of us got the yucky COVID and our whole system went down. So we've just let it sit for a little while so that we can get it back up. I have fish still in the tank that are just hanging out. I've never fed them. They just do their thing.
I know that a fish emulsion is real good for gardens because Living Traditions uses that fish emulsion in their garden.
Yeah,
absolutely.
On that, and it stinks to high heaven.
Yeah, it stinks, but it produces some great vegetables.
And you know what? When the water rotates, there's no smell to it when you're doing it this way because it's fresh and it's coming right in and it's just filtering. So you just have to watch your nitrates and that in the water and make sure everything's real even. But that's something we put together years ago, and we moved our tank from one part of our yard to the other, and we actually put it on a solar instead of being plugged in. So it's fully sustainable on its own now.
Yeah, I definitely need to see a video on that. That sounds pretty darn awesome.
There's Tony.
For as big as your garden is, you can definitely use that.
Absolutely. But that's one thing that the kids were like, well, we could grow all of our own greens then and have salads, because we eat salads almost every meal at our house. So they were just all excited because we can just continue to do what we already do and just showcase it as part of this challenge. So
Danny, we're still on here, but we're going to be jumping off pretty quick because Cody goes live at 11, and I don't want to get into trying to send everybody over there.
Hey, real quick, since Danny Days jumped in, we looked at her channel this morning, and she was like right around 20 subscribers, less than 200. So I have 20 people in this chat currently. If you have not been to Danny Days Homestead, go check her out. And if you like her content, subscribe, watch some videos, and make
comment,
sure
ring that bell, and hit all.
Yeah, make sure
I'm subscribed, but I'll unsubscribe just so I can resubscribe, just because it's the thought that
I don't
counts.
know that helps, but great idea, Jesse.
I think she's only like 9 or something away from it now. When I looked this morning, I thought she was in the 190 range. So yeah, Danny's at 191. So you need 9 people to go over 200.
9. Okay.
So if you're not subscribed, out if you like what you're seeing.
Well, maybe we can get Cody to shout her out during his live and
Cody, I'm sure will shout her out too over there and see if we can get her over 200. So
perfect, and we'll put her on our community tab today as well and try and get that up.
Oh, and looks like Garden to Table with Heather Lynn is 134. Oh. So if you haven't checked her out, maybe we can get her close to that 150 mark. Everybody's kind of hitting benchmarks here, and we're happy to encourage everybody along the way and build everybody up.
Awesome.
Hello, Joe. I want to say hello to Joe, Garden State Gardener.
I didn't even see him come in. See?
I didn't either.
Yeah, he's real stealthy.
Come in, but we were kind of talking there, so I didn't get a chance to interrupt.
Chuck, are you or do you really not know Danny Days? I know you do. Don't
he knows
kid
Danny.
me
He
like
He
that.
was the first one to have
Oh,
Danny.
Cody's still on here. He said he'll shout out Danny today. So awesome. Well, you guys, I've got to get back to work. I'm making magnets. So these are what I'm making right now.
Perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
So I've got to jump off. I've got pigs getting ready. That's what I was checking, is make sure the laser's set. It's set. I've got to get these made. So I will talk to you guys soon. So awesome. Thank you for having me on here.
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Hey,
Bye,
everybody,
guys.
here 79. Cody is in less than 30 minutes. So
Perfect. Cody,
And-
I'll have my ears in while
10.
I'm running the machine so I can listen to them. So
bye, Chris. Bye, Jesse. We love you all. Thanks so much.
Bye. We'll see y'all, everybody.
See you, everybody in the chat.
Bye.